So in movies you'd see, for example, it's a magic movie. It has to do with magic. You'd see a person carrying a small stick, or it might be either long, and they'll say something, ladder, 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 ladder. Then immediately something all over the surface will emerge. That's the magic. We've seen such movies. Something all over the sudden will emerge. Now, if they do it with their own hands, nothing can happen. Why? Because a small thing that they carry, it is called a scepter. Meaning without that scepter, there is nothing that can happen. Even if when they know words perfectly, but doing with their hands, nothing happens. Why? Because a scepter is what carries the power. All power is given to a scepter. Obviously, when incantations were done, they were actually speaking to the scepter. So you know, when they are actually doing rather, a scepter is writing something that is in the spiritual realm. And immediately at the end of the word, when the scepter is pointed, that thing emerges. It comes from the spiritual realm and it becomes physical. Because when the scepter was being moved, like they are doing, like they are choristers, when the scepter is being moved, it is actually writing something out of the words that someone is speaking. The scepter is writing in the spiritual realm. It is writing something that is in the spiritual realm, and at the completion of that person's word, rather, that thing, words that scepter were writing becomes to reality. If the scepter was writing a fridge, the fridge becomes to reality. It will emerge. Why? Because the scepter carries a lot of power. Now listen, a human being, let me put it in this way. A human being is the divine scepter in the hand of God. A human being is a divine scepter in the hands of God. Human beings are divine scepters in the hand of God. Let me say, those that have freely received and believed in are scepters in the hands of God. That's why they do not need to carry whatever, anything. Why am I saying they are divine scepters? Because when they are standing and when they say, Father, in the name of Jesus, I loose every chain of stagnation. I break every chain of spiritual impurities. Chains will be breaking. Chains will be breaking. Why? Because a human being has been given the Spirit of God to speak what is in the spiritual realm. And after they are done speaking, it is brought into reality. Find somebody that has been addicted for sexual lust, pornography, fornication, adultery. When a human being who is the divine nature of God, a divine scepter of God, comes and says, in the name of Jesus, I command you to be set free, immediately a person will be set free. Why? Because they are declaring what is in the spiritual realm and and communicating to what is in the spiritual. Meaning when a human being, no, when I mean that they speak, what do I mean? That speaking, I refer to prayer. Meaning when a divine nature, human being of God, is quiet, there is nothing that takes place. There is nothing at all that takes place. Everything will be still. No matter how much you are in distress, you are in trouble, as a divine scepter in the hand of God, if you remain quiet, God will not come and remove you from that situation. He will actually consider you to be a fool. But if you open your mouth, when you come to know how far the Lord has brought you, when you come to know how far the Lord has taken you, and you open your mouth, things will begin to move. Things will begin to move. When Moses reached at the far end of the Red Sea, he looked to God and said, what do we do? Then God said, I don't know. Meaning, he was actually telling Moses, what have you been doing all these past weeks? What have you been doing all these past weeks? Did I come from heaven to come and pour a dram of blood in the Red Sea? No. You dipped the scepter in the sea. Did you see me bring a net that is full of bugs to come and torment the Egyptians? No. You spoke a word. Did you see me bringing a snake from heaven to come and demonstrate the power of God before Pharaoh? No. You threw the staff on the ground. But why are you asking me what you need to do next? If he was to remain quiet, they were going to be slaughtered right before the Red Sea. But he remembered all those things, and he smite the Red Sea, and the Red Sea was divided. They walked on the dry ground. Human beings are the ones that are carrying the ark of the covenant. And when you speak of an ark of the covenant, remember how mightily it gave David victory. Everywhere they were going, they'll carry the ark. It's actually started from Moses. All battles, they'll carry the ark of the covenant with them. It was passed to Joshua, the ark of the covenant with them. It was passed to David, the ark of the covenant with him. And God said, we cannot. Everyone needs to taste this power. And God sent his spirit, meaning the same spirit that was resting upon the ark of the covenant is the same spirit that God has sent to help us. In the Christendom, what we need to understand, as I've said earlier before, you see in magic, in movies, those who are carrying scepters, they are doing their scepters, they are saying words, and when they point it forth, busy waving the scepter in the air as they are speaking, and when they point forth the scepter, that which was in the spiritual realm becomes active. But without the scepter, nothing takes place. They'll be put to shame. So it is with you. You are a scepter on your own. Sometimes it needs you to open your mouth. Not to wait for the prayer of others, but for you to open your mouth. Every man knows their clothes. Every man has got a size. You know what kind, how large, is it medium, is